Have you ever paused and asked yourself, how many healthy years do I really have left after turning 70? It's a question many older adults carry quietly in their hearts. Not out of fear, but out of a deep desire, not just to add more years to life, but more life to the years. The truth is, your body has been whispering clues all along. Tiny signs, subtle shifts, changes we often overlook or explain away. Like feeling a bit slower in the morning, or realizing it's harder to carry the groceries, or waking up and still feeling tired. You see, some people in their 70s still bounce out of bed with energy. They walk confidently, sleep soundly, and hold conversations with clarity and humor. Others, meanwhile, feel more fragile. Their steps become cautious, sleep becomes restless, and everyday tasks feel heavier. Why does this happen? Is it just luck, genetics? Not entirely. Science is showing us that the difference often lies in a handful of key signs, physical and lifestyle indicators, that are powerful predictors of how long and how well we'll live, not guesses, not superstitions. These are real, measurable patterns that researchers have seen again and again in people who age with grace, vitality, and independence. But here's the best part. Many of these signs are within your control. They're not written in stone. They're invitations. Gentle nudges from your own body, saying, pay attention. Take care of me. There's still so much life left to live. In this video, we're going to walk through 8 of these silent signals, signs that don't just predict how long you'll live, but how well. And more importantly, we'll talk about what you can do, starting today, to strengthen each one. Because the goal isn't just to count your years, it's to make your years count. So if you're someone who's ready to take control of this chapter, whether you're 70 or 90, or even just planning ahead, stay with me. This might just be the most important conversation you'll have about your health this year. And before we begin, I invite you to drop a comment below. I'm ready to make my years count. Let's get started. Sign 1. Walking speed. Let me ask you something simple. How fast do you walk these days? You probably haven't thought much about it. But your walking speed, yes, something as ordinary as how fast you move from your living room to the kitchen, can quietly reveal a lot about how well you're aging. And even how long you might live. Sounds surprising, right? But studies from around the world have confirmed it. Walking speed is one of the strongest predictors of longevity, especially after age 70. Why is that? Because the way you walk reflects far more than just your legs. It tells the story of your muscle strength, heart health, balance, and even your brain function. Let me introduce you to 2 people, both 75 years old. Harold starts each morning with a brisk walk around his neighborhood. He moves with confidence, climbs stairs without hesitation, and never second-guesses crossing a street. His posture is upright, his steps steady. He's not racing, but there's strength and purpose in the way he moves. Then there's Sam. Sam used to enjoy walking, too. But over time, things change. Now he gets winded after just a few minutes. He pauses often, reaches out for walls or railings, and feels unsure on his feet. His legs feel heavy, his pace is slower, his steps more cautious. That small difference, it matters a lot. A slower walking speed can be an early warning sign. It may point to muscle loss, poor circulation, or neurological changes that, if left unaddressed, can affect everything from independence to lifespan. But here's the good news, and it's really good. You can improve it. Regular, even short, daily walks help strengthen your legs and improve circulation. Light leg exercises, things you can do at home, help rebuild stability and confidence. So if you've noticed yourself slowing down lately, don't ignore it, but don't panic either. Just take it as a signal, one you can absolutely respond to. Start small, 1 extra walk around the block. A few standing leg raises while brushing your teeth. Because every steady step you take today is an investment in your future mobility, independence, and health. And remember, it's not just about where you're walking. It's about how you're walking. Let your body move with purpose. Your longevity may literally depend on it. Sign 2. Grip strength. Let's do a quick test. Grab something nearby. A jar, a book, even a bottle of water. Now, how does it feel in your hand? Is your grip strong and steady, or does it feel a little weaker than you remember? You might be surprised to hear this, but your grip strength, yes, the simple power in your hands, is one of the most important clues about how well your body is aging. And no, It's not just about opening pickle jars or carrying grocery bags. Research shows that grip strength is directly linked to your overall health, including your muscle tone, blood flow, and even your nervous system. Why? Because your hands are like messengers. They quietly reflect what's happening deep inside your body. When your grip begins to weaken, it's often a sign that your body is losing strength in other places too, places you can't easily see. Let me tell you about two men, both 78 years old. Edward makes it a point to stay active. He lifts light weights a few times a week and never struggles with daily tasks. Opening a jar, carrying a heavy bag, no problem. His grip is firm, reliable, and consistent. Then there's Martin. Recently, Martin noticed that twisting off bottle caps was getting harder. Holding heavy objects wears him out quickly. He figured, well, I'm just getting older. But what he didn't realize is that this fading grip strength could be a warning sign, a sign of broader muscle loss that increases the risk of falls, injuries, and even losing the ability to live independently. Here's the powerful truth. Grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of overall vitality, and you can improve it, starting today. Small, consistent actions make a big difference. Squeeze a tennis ball for a few minutes each day. Use hand grippers while watching TV. Lift light weights. Even soup cans work. These simple exercises don't just strengthen your hands. They send a message to your whole body, we're staying strong. We're not giving up, so ask yourself again, how's your grip today? Because it's not just about holding on to objects. It's about holding on to your freedom, your confidence, your ability to live life on your own terms. If you start paying attention now, your future self will thank you with steadier hands and a stronger, more resilient body. Sign 3. Balance standing on one foot. Let me ask you something simple, but powerful. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without holding on to anything? It might sound like a fun little challenge, something you'd expect at a yoga class or a balance workshop. But what if I told you this small test could actually reveal big things about your long-term health and even your longevity? That's right. Your balance, specifically, your ability to stand on one foot, is closely tied to how well your brain, muscles, and coordination are working together. And it's a skill we often overlook until it starts to slip away. Let me paint you a picture of two women, both in their early 70s. Linda begins her mornings with a short yoga session. She enjoys stretching, breathing deeply, and gently testing her balance. When she lifts one foot, her body stays steady. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware, strong, and connected. Now meet Grace. Grace hasn't thought much about balance. She doesn't move as much as she used to, and when she tries to stand on one leg, she wobbles, she reaches for the wall. She sits back down quickly, a little embarrassed. Here's the thing, Grace is not alone. As we age, our balance naturally becomes more fragile. But losing balance isn't just about falling, it's a whisper from your nervous system. It can be an early warning sign of weakened muscles, slowed reflexes, or even changes in brain function. But here's the good news, balance is one of the most trainable skills we have even in our 70s, 80s, and beyond. Start small. Try standing on one foot while brushing your teeth. Walk in a straight line, heel to toe, like you're on a balance beam. Or explore something gentle but powerful like Tai Chi, a slow, flowing movement that helps strengthen your core and calm your mind. I like to think of balance not just as a physical ability, but as a metaphor for life. Are you steady on your feet? Are you centered in your routines? Do you take moments to pause, breathe, and realign? Because how you move through the world today, how you stand, walk, and recover your balance, says a lot about how independent and strong you'll be tomorrow. So go ahead, give it a try right now. Stand tall, lift one foot. 10 seconds. This isn't just a test, it's a practice. A promise to yourself that you're not done growing stronger, not yet. Sign 4. Sleep quality. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly slept well, the kind of sleep that makes you feel alive the next morning? For many of us, sleep becomes trickier with age. We fall asleep only to wake up at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling. Or we toss and turn, waking up feeling more tired than the night before. But here's what most people don't realize. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. While you're sleeping, your body is hard at work. It's fixing tissues, balancing hormones, and even cleaning out toxins from your brain. That's right, deep sleep is like a night crew coming in to keep your system sharp, your heart strong, and your mood stable. Let me share the story of two men, both 74. Thomas sleeps about 7 hours each night. No trouble falling asleep, no frequent waking. He rises early, alert and energized. Then there's Gerald. He struggles to drift off. Even when he does, he wakes up often, sometimes for hours. He feels groggy, forgetful, and low on energy. The difference, it's not just luck. Gerald's poor sleep might be linked to stress, inconsistent bedtime routines, or even underlying issues like sleep apnea, a condition that briefly stops your breathing at night and robs you of real rest without you even knowing. And here's something most people forget. Bad sleep adds up over time. It can increase your risk for heart disease, memory loss, depression, even shorten your life expectancy. But there's hope. Even small changes can transform your nights and your days. Start by powering down screens an hour before bed. The blue light from phones and TVs tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Create a gentle routine, warm tea, soft lighting, maybe some calming music or a few pages of a book. And don't underestimate morning sunlight. Stepping outside first thing helps reset your body's clock, making it easier to sleep at night. In my own life, I've noticed that when I respect my sleep, everything else gets better, my patience, my memory, even my ability to enjoy the little things. So ask yourself tonight, is your sleep helping you live longer, or is it slowly wearing you down? It's never too late to start sleeping better. And every good night's sleep is a quiet investment in a stronger, sharper, happier you. Sign 5. Appetite and eating habits. Let's talk about something that seems small, until it isn't. Have you ever noticed a loved one, maybe a parent or even yourself, gradually start eating less, losing weight without trying, or saying, "I'm just not hungry"? It's easy to overlook. After all, we assume appetite comes and goes. But after age 70, a steady decline in appetite isn't just a passing phase. It can be a red flag. A healthy appetite isn't just about enjoying food. It reflects muscle mass, metabolic health, and even immune strength. When we eat well, our bodies have the fuel to repair cells, fight off infections, and stay energized. Take Joanne. She's 76, still loves trying out new recipes, and looks forward to meal times. She eats a balanced diet, rich in protein and vegetables, and it shows. She feels strong and full of life. Now compare that to Elise. She's the same age, but her appetite has faded. She's lost weight without meaning to. She picks at her food, often eats alone, and lately, she feels weak and foggy. This isn't uncommon. In fact, loss of appetite in older adults can be a sign of deeper issues: digestive trouble, medication side effects, hormone shifts, or even early signs of dementia. I've seen this in my own family. My grandmother, once a joyful cook, began skipping meals. Within months, she seemed more tired, more withdrawn. It wasn't until we paid attention to her eating habits that we realized something was off. The good news: appetite can be nurtured. Instead of forcing big meals, encourage small, frequent snacks every few hours that are easy to digest but packed with nutrition. Stay hydrated. Often, older adults mistake thirst for lack of hunger. And focus on fresh, whole foods, especially those rich in protein like eggs, chicken, tofu, beans, or even a hearty smoothie with nut butter and fruit. Also, don't underestimate the power of shared meals. Eating with others, even virtually, can boost not just appetite but mood and motivation. So if you or someone you love is eating less and feeling low, take it seriously. Sometimes, the road back to vitality starts with something as simple as one good meal shared with someone who cares. Sign 6. Ability to handle stress. Let me ask you something personal. How do you respond when life doesn't go as planned? Do you take a breath, pause, and adapt? Or do you lie awake at night with your mind racing? You see, stress isn't just a mental thing, it's deeply physical. Chronic stress is like silent inflammation that slowly wears down your body from the inside out. When your brain constantly sounds the alarm, your immune system weakens, your blood pressure rises, your heart works overtime, and your sleep suffers. Over time, stress becomes a powerful accelerant for aging. Let me introduce you to two men in their 70s. David has developed simple rituals. He writes in a journal every morning, takes a daily walk through his neighborhood, practices deep breathing, and calls his brother when things feel heavy. He's not stress-free, but he's resilient. Then there's Earl. Earl watches the news nonstop, worries about everything, and often lies in bed staring at the ceiling. His blood pressure is high. His doctor tells him he needs to take it easy, but Earl doesn't know how. Here's the truth. We can't eliminate stress from life. But how we handle stress may determine how long and how well we live. Studies have found that people who develop healthy coping strategies like journaling, movement, meditation, or even laughter actually show slower biological aging markers compared to those who internalize everything. One of the biggest misconceptions is that managing stress requires big changes or expensive tools. But often, the answer lies in the smallest daily habits. Try this. Next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and take 5 deep breaths, really slow, intentional breaths, or step outside for just 5 minutes of sunlight and movement. Call a friend. Watch something that makes you laugh. And here's another tip. Limit exposure to toxic input. If watching the news leaves you angry or afraid, it's okay to turn it off. Protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset because, in truth, it is. So if you're feeling worn down, ask yourself, is it the weight of life or the way I'm carrying it? You have more control than you think, not over the chaos but over your response. And in that space, health and healing begin. Sign 7. Social connections. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Loneliness can be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, you heard that right. We often talk about eating well and staying active as keys to longevity, and they are. But we sometimes forget that having someone to talk to, laugh with, or even cry with, might be just as important. Meet Marjorie. She's 79, and her calendar is full not of appointments, but of connection. She takes morning walks with friends, chats on the phone with her daughter every weekend, and spends Tuesday afternoons baking with her church group. She has wrinkles, sure, but also a spark in her eye that tells you she's alive inside. Then there's Edith, same age. But most days, she sits alone by the window. Her phone rarely rings, her motivation fades. She says, I just don't feel like doing much anymore. And it shows not just in mood, but in her health. Because when we're isolated, stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated. That leads to inflammation, a weakened immune system, and increased risks of heart disease, depression, and even dementia. Human beings are wired for connection. It's not about having hundreds of friends, it's about meaningful connection. Someone who remembers your birthday. Someone who listens without rushing you. Someone you can be yourself with. And here's the good news. It's never too late to rebuild that network. You could call an old friend, write a note to someone you miss, or join a local book club or community group. Volunteering is another beautiful way because when you give, you also receive. And if you're thinking, but I'm not that social, remember this, it's not about being outgoing, it's about being connected. Even one real, regular connection can make a huge difference. So ask yourself today, who's your lifeline? And if you're not sure, maybe today's the perfect day to start creating one. Because living long is good, but living long with love, laughter, and friendship. That's what makes the years worth counting. Sign 8. Mental flexibility and willingness to learn. Have you ever heard someone say, I'm too old to learn? If so, let me tell you a secret: that sentence may be aging them faster than time itself. One of the strongest predictors of mental longevity isn't just what you remember. It's how open your mind remains to new ideas, new skills, and even new mistakes. Let me introduce you to Mr. Lee. He's 76. After retiring from a long career in engineering, he didn't just sit back and watch the clock tick. He picked up a paintbrush, something he had never touched before in his life. And guess what? Not only does he now paint beautiful landscapes, but he also says he feels happier, calmer, and mentally sharper than he did at 60. Compare that to Mrs. Anna, 77. She often shrugs and says, I'm too old for that tech stuff. She spends most days watching TV reruns, and lately, she's been struggling with forgetfulness and low mood. Now, I'm not saying painting will fix everything. But science is clear on this: a flexible mind is a younger mind. When we stay curious, when we challenge our brain, whether it's learning a new recipe, a dance move, or how to use a smartphone, we build new neural connections. It's called neuroplasticity, and it's like giving your brain a daily gym workout. The good news, You don't need to learn a second language or go back to college. You can start small, read about something you know nothing about, try doing a crossword puzzle. Ask your grandchild to teach you how to use a new app, or better yet, ask them what they're curious about. Learning isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. Each time you choose to stay mentally active, you are literally rewiring your brain for better memory, emotional resilience, and joy. So, here's a question for you today. What's one small thing you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? Because the truth is, your mind doesn't care how old your body is, it just wants to grow. And as long as you're learning, evolving, and staying open, you're not just living longer, you're living wiser, stronger, and far more fully. Now, before you go, I want you to take a quiet moment. Think back to the 8 signs we've just explored together. 1. Walking speed. 2. Grip strength. 3. Balance. 4. Sleep quality. 5. Appetite and eating habits. 6. Stress management. 7. Social connections. 8. Mental flexibility and willingness to learn. Each of these might seem small, ordinary, even, but together, they paint a powerful picture of your future health and, more importantly, your quality of life. These are not tests, they're not grades. They are gentle signals from your body and your mind, whispering, "Please take care of me." You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Maybe it starts with just a 10-minute walk in the morning, a call to someone you miss, or saying yes to learning something you've always put off. Because the truth is, your future isn't built in one day. It's built in small choices, daily moments of attention, tiny acts of care. And here's something we don't say enough. You are not powerless in this stage of life. You are not too late. In fact, you're right on time to take ownership of your health, your joy, and your future. So, which sign resonated with you most today? Is it time to stretch your legs, reach out to a friend? Learn that new thing you've been putting off? If this video gave you even one helpful insight, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. This channel is here to remind you gently, consistently, and with compassion that growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. It means growing wiser, stronger, and more alive. Let's age with intention, together.